guys, and welcome to another video. Alright guys, so today I have Coach Paul with me, and we're going to discuss a really awesome topic that you guys have been asking me to cover for a while actually. So we're gonna cover improvement season and how to set up your macros for the improvement season. When is the right time to stop? How much weight do you wanna put? So let's start off how do we set up our macros for the improvement season? You just got off of a dieting phase, and where do we go from there? We just finished with the show.
Yeah, so the trick that I've been using that's had a lot of success is I basically take the refeed macros essentially that we were using. And a lot of times that's where my peaking plan ends, is with a high carb day. And I'll start with that. And what I'll usually do is lower the carbs a little bit, raise the fats a little bit, because we're trying to push carbs at the end of a refeed. But another trick is I'll bump up protein by maybe 20, 30, 40 grams, because protein is great for satiety.
Yes.
And the real issue we have post-show is hunger. So if we can kind of find a way to improve satiety, keep calories in a good place where we feel good, I find the success rate for avoiding those disastrous 5,000 calorie days is really going to be higher.
Absolutely. How high do you think is too high to increase your macros after a show?
I don't think there's a limit to how high they can go. I think you should not compare yourself to other people. I think you should not look at what other people do and go, oh, well, that girl's eating 4,000 calories. That girl's eating 1,200 calories.
Yeah.
Everybody's so individual.
So different.
I focus on how you're feeling, like satiety, how's your recovery, and are you able to actually stick to these macros without going over? Because there's no reason to limit if you're just going over every day. Just go ahead and increase them so you get rid of that psychological barrier where you feel guilty.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like it varies person to person, and you have to ask yourself, this year, for example, I asked myself, how aggressive do I want to be right now? Because is my goal to stay as lean as possible as I can throughout this reverse? Or do I want to increase calories a little bit more rapidly and get to a place where I am feeling amazing?
Yeah,
faster.
I think we both agree it was the second.
Yeah, so this year I was in a different spot when I ended, and I was like, I'm ready for this improvement season, so I went all out, And previous off seasons, we took it very slowly, so it just depends on what state you're at, So ask yourself those questions, have that conversation with your coach. It's so important to not just do what everybody else is doing or try to stay 1 pound away from stage weight. That's not healthy. That's not healthy to stay there.
Especially the mindset shouldn't be after a show to stay stage lean. There are a few genetic exceptions that are able to do that, but again, don't compare yourself to those people. Remember the focus of the improvement season is to improve.
Yeah,
whether that means psychologically, physiologically, to put yourself in a place to succeed down the road.
Absolutely, and have a little bit more freedom and enjoy life and do other things outside of prep, because prep is a really big part of my life, but it's not my entire life. So different strategies for different people. So I feel like a lot of people are usually always asking me, what are those numbers? And there's no specific numbers, because your end game is going to be different than mine. We all end up in different macros.
If you're looking for the math of it, I think we all kind of end prep at or around 10 times our body weight in calories. So let's say you got down to 104, your calories were probably close to 1,000 by the end of prep.
They were a little higher.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So I think what I would want for you in the off season is to get your calories up to 15 to 17 times your body weight. So there is a good range there where you want to feel good, but don't be in a rush to get there. And don't compare yourself to somebody else. Like I said, I have some clients that have these freaky metabolisms, and it almost scares me to share that information, because the message that I'm sending out then is oh, well, if that person's having 350 grams of carbs and I'm only having 150, I'm failing, which is not the case.
No, every single metabolism is different, and you got to think, what is that other person doing? Maybe they're doing 2-hour walks every other day,
Some people have active jobs.
They're moving, they work on their feet. There's so many different variables. So you definitely don't want to compare yourself at any stage, I feel like.
And another common question is, how high should my calories get?
Exactly.
And that just comes down to your personal, how good you feel in the gym, how good you're feeling each day. Are you struggling to stay within them? I really like if I can get my clients to a place where they're hey, please don't add any more food.
Yeah.
That's when we know that you're basically topped out.
Yeah.
You're maintaining your weight.
Metabolism's
you're eating,
good.
We're including a couple free meals per week. You're able to be social. The people in your life enjoy your company. and they can buy into your fitness lifestyle. The one thing, I really try to push is the value of making fitness fit into your life and not the other way around, because then you can start to like seclude yourself from things, and then you can set yourself up some bad relationships.
Absolutely. And then another really big question I get around this topic is, how heavy should I get?
Yeah, that's
now
I have some specific thoughts on that.
Yeah, okay.
So I have some like weight ranges that I like to see for people. So for myself, I compete around 195 pounds. I like to stay 10 to 15% over stage weight.
Gotcha. How much would that be for you?
Well, that's around 20 to 15 pounds over stage weight, maybe a little bit more. So, but as someone that's, close to 200 pounds, I can get up to 225 and I'm still within basically 10% of my stage weight. So for someone like yourself that's closer to 100 pounds when you compete, 10% would only be 110 pounds. Yeah. So then we're going to get to that 15 to 20% range of stage weight. Where we can really run into trouble is when we're having to start prep by just losing pure body fat.
Yeah.
And I prefer not to get into that place.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, it just comes down to just having that conversation with your coach, asking yourself, what is your ultimate goal going into an improvement season? Like, there's certain things that you have to focus on too, and kind of like switch that mindset to, are my workouts improving over time? Are my lifts getting better? Things like that. How's your overall energy?
A big consideration too is, what's your training age? How long have you been in the gym? Because a new person in the gym that just went through a prep probably lost some lean body mass. So they're going to gain a lot of lean body mass coming out of prep rapidly, versus someone who's been competing for 10, 15, 20 years like myself. I'm not going to put on 10 pounds of lean body mass post-show. So there's no reason for me to allow my weight to climb as quickly as a newer lifter. Some of my newer lifters worry, but when I see them, I'm like, well, you're just much more dense. And I know you're worried about the number, but look at the overall look that you have. You look at your measurements, how your clothes are fitting. Some people get attached to a number and they forget to pay attention to what they see in the mirror.
Yeah, because it's completely different. I'm telling you, my body composition has changed so much over the years. I'm almost at the point that I just want to toss my scale, because if I would have gone by my scale weight, I would have never made all these progressions that I have made over the years. Don't set yourself a limit. Why? And one last question before we leave is, how long should your improvement season be? 3 months, 4 months, a year?
I mean, most of that comes down to what's your next goal. So for someone like yourself that we got on the pro stage this year and we saw how you compared to the girls, we decided we need a full year to make some visual changes for the stage. So some of my clients that have more muscle than they need, I'm okay with them just taking a few months off between shows, as long as we're managing things properly, because we don't need to come back with more muscle. It was more of an issue with conditioning. So how long should your off season be? You have to reverse engineer that from your top goal. What is your main goal? For most people, it's going to be at least a year, maybe more, because to put on muscle, especially as a natural bodybuilder, it's going to take time.
Yeah, so be patient. A lot of people want to get on stage tomorrow, and they want to start a prep without ever even lifting a weight.
Yeah.
And you can start a prep and lose all the body fat, but then you're gonna have nothing underneath the body fat. Right. You need to set yourself up a good foundation. So yeah, patience.
That's what the sport is about. It's about putting on muscle.
Yeah.
Muscle is a great addition to your life. It's gonna make your life better. Even Natalie talks about how much better she is at surfing because she has more lower body strength. For people that are elderly, more lean body mass is gonna add to their quality of life as they age. So bodybuilding should be about that. It should be about prolonging and making your life better. Competing should just be a temporary extension of that. It should not be the focus.
Exactly. Absolutely. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to head over to his channel. We just filmed a video over there. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.